What if nature combined a giraffe, a horse and a zebra, or even a panda and an ant? Today you will discover real animals that look like impossible hybrids but truly exist. Stay tuned, because each one is stranger and more fascinating than the last. Welcome everyone to a new video. Have you ever wondered what would happen if nature combined a giraffe, a horse, and a zebra into one animal? Or did you know that there's a creature that looks like a combination of a cow, a dolphin, and a zebra? In this video, I've prepared a list for you of animals that nature combined. Sit back and enjoy, buddy. Have you ever heard of an animal that looks like a combination of an owl, a frog, and a rodent? A creature so strange that many, upon seeing it for the first time, think they're looking at a fantasy creature, but it's a real creature. It's as small as a coffee cup and at the same time as disturbing and adorable. Its name is tarsier, and it's one of the most peculiar primates on the planet. It only measures between 10 and 15 centimeters, but its appearance is unusual. Its eyes are so large that they take up almost its entire face. They're round, fixed, and motionless, like those of an owl trapped in a miniature body. Its thin, extremely long fingers look more like those of a climbing frog than a primate. It can hug branches the thickness of a pencil without making a sound or being seen. Its pointy, mobile ears are reminiscent of a bat's, always alert. They pick up even the slightest rustle in the night, and its body, covered in soft, mouse-like fur, makes it a kind of cross between a stuffed animal and a spy. But that's not all. Its head can rotate almost 180 grams, as if it had an owl's neck, and its long, thin, rat-like tail helps it balance when jumping. Dugong. Did you know there's a creature that looks like a combination of a cow, a dolphin, and a frog? Imagine swimming in the ocean and suddenly seeing this animal right in front of you. It's not a shark, it's not a whale, and it's not a seal either. What you have in front of you is the dugong, one of the strangest creatures in the sea, a species that seems assembled from parts that shouldn't go together. The dugong looks like an impossible cross between a sea cow, a dolphin, and a walrus. It has a robust, elongated body similar to that of a sea cow, and a horizontal tail similar to that of a dolphin. Its skin is thick, smooth, and grayish like a walrus's, but without tusks or exaggerated wrinkles. But the most curious thing is its face. A large, rounded snout with a downward curving mouth that gives it an expression of absolute calm. That peculiar shape isn't an ornament. It uses it to graze on the seabed, delicately plucking seagrass. Yes, this animal eats grass, but not on land. It does so in underwater meadows, just like a cow underwater. That's why many affectionately call it the sea cow. Dugongs live in warm waters, especially in coastal areas of the Indian Ocean and the Western Pacific. Seeing a dugong in its natural habitat is one of the strangest things you'll ever experience. They don't seem real. White-shelled turtle. Can you imagine meeting an animal that's a cross between a turtle, a stingray, and a rock? I'm not telling you a riddle. I'm describing a real animal. It has the legs of a turtle, the body of a stingray, and its shell is easily mistaken for a wet rock. It's not a mythical creature or an invention of artificial intelligence. It's the soft-shelled turtle of the Yangtze. Imagine walking along a river in China, and suddenly you see a flat, gray mass with no defined shape. You think it's a rock covered in mud and you get closer, but the rock, so to speak, moves. That's what this turtle provokes. Confusion, surprise, and fascination. Anyone who sees it for the first time can't tell if they're looking at a reptile, a fish, or something in between. This turtle is unlike any other. Its shell, instead of being hard, curved, and solid like that of common turtles, is flat, flexible, and soft like a wet blanket. To the touch, it resembles a smooth, mossy stone. Visually, it blends perfectly into the muddy bottom of the rivers where it lives. This strange animal inhabits rivers in East Asia, especially the Yangtze River. There, its flattened, streamlined body allows it to glide underwater with the same grace as a manta ray. Its webbed feet function as oars, and its elongated, tube-like nose allows it to breathe while remaining almost completely submerged. Flying fox. Can an animal have the body of a bat and the face of a fox? It seems like an absurd question, as if we were talking about a laboratory experiment or a creature straight out of a science fiction movie. But nature sometimes plays by its own rules, and when it does, animals are born that seem like impossible combinations. One of them is the protagonist of this post, a creature that many, upon first seeing it, don't believe exists. It lives hanging from trees, sleeps upside down like a bat, but when you get closer and look at its face, what you see is not what you expect. It has a long snout, pointy ears, large, expressive eyes, and brown or orange fur that makes it look adorable. Is it a bat? Well, maybe not quite. What is certain is that it has the face of a fox. Meet the flying fox, one of the strangest combinations in the animal kingdom. Although its name sounds like a legend, this animal does exist, and it's not small. Its black wings can reach up to 1.5 meters from tip to tip, bigger than many children. But don't worry, it's not aggressive, nor does it eat humans. Despite its imposing appearance, the flying fox is completely harmless. Its diet is simple: fruits, flowers, and nectar. It spends its nights flying through tropical forests in search of figs, mangoes, or ripe bananas. And during the day it sleeps in large groups perched on trees like giant fruits. It lives in warm regions such as Asia, Australia, and some Pacific islands. What would happen if nature combined a giraffe, a horse, and a zebra into one animal? It seems like a silly question, but would you believe me if I told you this animal actually exists? It hides and survives deep in the Congolese jungle. Upon first seeing it, many people think it's a montage, a Photoshop trick, or even a creature invented for a fantasy movie. But no, this animal is real, and it's called an okapi. The okapi is one of those rare cases where nature seems to have blended pieces of different animals into a single creature. It has the elongated, elegant head of a giraffe, and a blue tongue that can measure over 30 centimeters, perfect for reaching leaves between branches. Its body is robust, covered in dark brown fur reminiscent of a horse or an antelope. But what's most striking are its hind legs. They are decorated with black and white stripes identical to those of a zebra. It's as if someone put it together from odds and ends of other animals. Panda ant. Can you imagine seeing the combination of an ant, a panda bear, and a wasp? It sounds like a complete joke or the invention of a completely crazy scientist. But yes, as you might imagine, this animal really exists. It has a plush body, adorable colors, and a harmless appearance. Upon seeing it, many people think it's a cute and curious insect, but if you ever see one in person, I recommend you don't get too close. Behind that miniature panda costume hides a wasp with a very painful sting. Its name is panda ant, and although it looks like a toy bear, it's actually a solitary, strong, and dangerous insect. The panda ant measures only 2 centimeters, but its appearance is so strange that those who see it for the first time are baffled. Is it a hairy ant, a miniature panda, or a wingless wasp? It is difficult to classify because its body is covered with dense black and white fur similar to that of a loaf of bread, but it does not have wings like common wasps. Which of these hybrid-looking animals impressed you the most? Write it in the comments, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss more surprising stories from the animal world.